Good evening. It is Wednesday. It's 8 o'clock, or 8:15. In fact, it's just gone 8:15, so we're a little bit later than normal. Welcome to episode 6 of Mod Cons. How are we all doing? I hope everybody is good. Tim, it's lovely to have you back with us, my friend.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
You've been thoroughly unwell for what feels like months. Actually,
Yeah, feels like a long time. No, I've been quite unwell, but I'm happy to report I am now finally on the mend and back to streaming and gaming and all those fun things. So
yeah,
it happens. You get ill, you have to clock out for a bit until you get better.
You do, but it really does. Not that I want to dwell on it because you're on the mend now, but it really does feel like you've been unwell for quite a long time.
Yeah, definitely. I'd definitely agree to that. It probably feels like longer for me.
Yeah, excellent. So before we jump in, we've got quite a few people in already, so we'll just quickly jump through. We've got Mr. Rob, wonderful to see you. Mr. Nick Craddock, great to see you too. Hopefully we'll be seeing you soon. We have Mr. Dorber, lovely to see you there. Seren as well, hello Pickle. Mr. Noyce, how are you doing? I hope your travels back from Turkey were okie dokie. Middle-aged gamer guy, yes, mate. Lovely to see you there. There's me knocking over a whole pile of games. And Mr. Andy Davison, how's it going? How's it going? How's it going? Excellent. Okay, so let's get cracking. People will notice that it's just the two of us this evening. Mr. Blunners has got to do some stuff this evening, some family stuff. So yes, me and Tim holding down the fort, going to chew your ears off over all sorts of interesting topics that we're going to be talking about this evening. As always, please do contribute in the chat there. If you've got anything you want to ask us to talk about, please do get it all in the chat, and we will get to that. So our first topic, as always, is what are you playing? So Tim, what are you playing at the moment?
So I am playing on the PlayStation 5 now, because I actually have now picked up the PlayStation 5. So I have finally bit the bullet and got one. I am very, very intrigued by PSVR 2. I know I'm not going to be able to help myself. I'm going to want to get one at some point. And I thought, do you know what? I want to spread the cost a bit because I'm not going to be able to afford to buy all of it at once. So I was like, why don't I buy a PS5 now and then maybe wait a bit and then eventually get a PSVR 2. So that's what I decided to do. So I got myself a PS5. So games I've got with it, I've got Hogwarts Legacy, Spider-Man Miles Morales, and Horizon. What's the Horizon one? You'll remember the name of it. Forbidden West, that's the one. So yeah,
excellent.
Horizon Forbidden West. But I've not started the other two yet. The only one I've actually played so far is Hogwarts. And I've also played a few games you could download. So I just wanted to see what graphics were like and tried to download a few games. And I've been playing Crash Bandicoot 4.
Yes, okay. It's about time.
That's quite fun. Yeah, so I've been playing that. That's quite fun. That was a free one. And then there's an Oddworld game as well, which was Soulstorm.
Okay, yes.
So that's quite funny, really, because I've got a PlayStation 5 and I'm playing a game that I had on the PlayStation 1 because I used to play Crash Bandicoot on the PS1 and then Abe's Odyssey on the PS1. Fast forward till now, I've got a PS5 and I'm playing a Crash Bandicoot game and an Abe game, which I thought was quite funny. But mostly playing Hogwarts, which I'm really enjoying so far. It's quite fun. I did do a thing where I went online and checked. It's quite a big game. There's loads to it. It's like I kind of want to go in with a little bit of knowledge of what I should do. So I don't want to do that thing where you play a game for several hours, like 8 hours in, and you realize there was like a really useful thing you should have been doing the whole time. So I watched a few videos, like tips of things you should know before you start playing and things that people wish they'd known before they started playing, that sort of thing. And a lot of the advice is just follow the main storyline for the first several hours of the game until you unlock certain skills, because loads of parts of the castle are locked to you until you get certain abilities. And I think there's a certain point in the game, like, wait, once you've unlocked broom flight, and the seasons change, and there's a certain point in the game, like, right, a few hours in, that's when you can start exploring more and go into different things. So I've kind of been trying to do that, but it's really hard not to just wander around. So I'm like, there's a chest over there. I just want to go and look at it. And then you realize, oh, actually, I can't get to it because it's locked behind something that I can't move yet. And there's a puzzle which I don't understand yet. And I was like, no, I'm just going to follow the advice and just stick to the main storyline quests until I get a bit further in. But I have found that difficult to stick to because of my way of exploring games, I get sidetracked really easy on side quests.
Yeah.
And I'm really going against my instincts. Like, oh, I'm going to wander around and explore stuff and grind, but I'm not. I'm playing the story. Yeah, it's been good fun. And it's really nice console. The thing I was quite pleased about as well, because it's quite big, isn't it? The PS5 is quite a big console.
It's massive. It is absolutely massive.
And I've got a space in my TV cabinet with all my consoles and stuff. And I took the PS4 out and put the PS5 in and then plugged everything back in, and it just fits nicely. So I was quite pleased that I've got the space, but my PS4 is all boxed up now because I've got everything on there. Although we were talking before we went live, I just wanted to showcase this. If you've got a PS5 and you've got the PS1 VR, get yourself one of these. They do sell them for about £15, but you can get them free from Sony. So if you go to the Sony website and you put in your PSVR headset number, they'll actually just send you one for free. So save yourself some money and get a free one. And that's just so you can connect the camera to the back to the USB, and then it goes in. So I've done that, but we're actually unsure now if it lets you play the PS4 discs. So I tested it and I downloaded Wipeout Omega Collection and played that a bit, and it works absolutely fine. So you can play PS4 VR games on it, but the question is, can you play the disc? So I'll find out and come back. But if anyone in the chat knows, chuck us an update saying if you tried it and done it, because me and Ollie were discussing before we went live and we're not 100% sure. So it'd be good to know.
We're not. Definitely not. I mean, I have that cable. It's down here. I haven't taken it out yet because it's just I can't leave the PSVR set up constantly, and it just it just takes up so much time. So yeah, I can't wait.
I've left mine all just connected. I just left it all plugged in. But I suppose mine's behind like a door, so I've got like a TV cabinet with like TV doors. So it's all behind a door, so you can't really get to it. I've mostly done that because of like children and their little sticky hands on consoles and stuff. So I've just kind of like shut it behind the door, but it means I can just leave it all set up all the time.
Excellent. So you've been exploring the world of next gen console gaming with PS5. Exciting stuff.
We've actually got a few bits here. He said, upgrade PSVR 2. It's brilliant.
Yes.
Definitely would like to give it a try. I'm not trying.
It does look great. It's got so
not
much
sure what
tech
Doors
inside
is about. I presume he's talking about his PlayStation 5. And
I hope so.
This is a good question. I've noticed this there. Why is there a love heart in the bottom right of my chat feed? You can't read the messages. I have no idea. There's a love heart here. Oh, you could do different reactions. I'm going to do a heart. There we go. What does that do? Oh, does that come up on the screen for everybody?
Let's have a look. What have you? You've
face? I've got it on the phone here. Just like you could do like little emoji things on here.
Oh yes.
What's that about? I don't know if anyone else can see that going off there. So you can show us love throughout the stream. There you go. And that
Beautiful.
Must be a new YouTube thing, I guess. There you go.
All about it. Okie dokie. So I have a huge stack of games that I'm now gonna run through. I can't remember whether I had finished this or whether I was playing this on the last episode. So Metroid Prime Remastered, finished it. Haven't 100%ed it because it got to the point where I forgot just how much backtracking you do in Metroid games. So it's like, right, I'm just going to crack on, get the main bit done. Absolutely phenomenal. Anyone that's got a Switch, anyone that has played Metroid Prime before, and anyone that hasn't played Metroid Prime, just pick it up. It is so good. I don't know why they called it remastered. They should have just called it remake because it feels and looks like a totally different game. Graphically, it's been totally overhauled. The controls fucking work now, which is even better. You don't have to get used to any of the weird janky controls they tried before. You can still set them up to do that if you want to, or you can play it like a first-person shooter. Phenomenal game. I can't say what hasn't already been said about it. It's such a good game. From OLL and Bitmap Bureau, they gave us a copy of Xenocrisis on the Nintendo 64. Yes, so I have been playing the hell out of that because this is now my favorite way to play this game.
How far you've actually managed to get? Because it is really tough.
It is punishing. And you know what? Yeah. I've only recently realized that there is it starts you on the hard difficulty setting. So there's me thinking that this is just normal. Or easy or whatever it is, and I've been playing it with the red background, and then I've just suddenly realized that all the years I've been playing it, you can switch it to the green mode, and that's actually the easy mode, so it starts you in hard mode. So all this time I've been punishing myself. So I can get up to about the 4th stage on my own. If I've got somebody else with me, we can get pretty far. We can complete it. But yes,
Right.
so
Cool, yeah.
I need
I've been able to
to.
get further with someone else. If you're doing a 2-player, it's a bit more doable. But solo play, it's pretty tough. I think I've managed to clear the first 2 levels, get on to level 3.
It's difficult. It's difficult. We love hard mode. I do when I'm with somebody else. When I'm on my own, oh man, it can be a bit punishing. It can be a bit punishing, but that's now my favorite way, and it is purely because of the controls. The N64 controller. I know some people hate it. I love it anyway, but this game feels like it was made for that controller. So that, sticking with bitmap as well. I've been on a real bitmap kick. The game of theirs that I hadn't played before, which was Battle Axe. That is, again, really good. I've not dived too much into this because I spent quite a lot of time on the New Xeno Crisis. I spent quite a lot of time on the next game I'm going to show you as well. But Battle Axe is sort of like a top-down action adventure arcadey type game where you just walk around the arenas with your various characters using abilities, just smashing the crap out of everything on screen. You basically just destroy everything. It's very addictive. So I've put it down purely because otherwise I'm just going to totally forget everything else that I'm currently playing, and end up dedicating time to that. So I'm going to go back to that when I've got, well, not got time, but when I'm going to be in the mood for something stupidly addictive. I wasn't lying. I do have loads. I've completed this a couple of times. Now I've had it on digital on the Switch when I wasn't sure it was getting a physical, but I've managed to pick up Final Vendetta on the PS5 now.
Nice, yeah.
Absolutely incredible. It's Streets of Rage, basically. But in my opinion, it's maybe a little bit better than Streets of Rage. I like the graphical style in this. I love the soundtrack. Had to get the little, there's like a collector's version and then there's a super collector's version. So this one just came with the soundtrack, which is kind of what I was really keen for because it's insanely good. Runs butter smooth on a PS5, as you would imagine. You'd be pretty pissed off if it didn't. So that's that. And then this is what's been taking up, I would argue, most of my time at the moment, purely because it's such a huge game. Witcher 3, the PS5 version, which has got all the DLC in it as well. I think I showed that on the last stream, but I hadn't started it yet. I want to say maybe about 20 hours into it again. Loved it on the PS4. I know you can
I've still never played the Witcher games. I think Witcher 2 was a freebie 1 month on Games with Gold, I think.
Okay.
And I started playing that, but it was quite an old game by this point. I started playing, I just didn't really get into it. But Witcher 3 is the one I hear about the most. Lots of people rave about Witcher 3, and I'm wondering if I've just been missing out.
It's very, very good. It's very adult storytelling. I guess the closest thing to liken it to would be like Game of Thrones, I guess, because it's got that sort of universe surrounding it. You know, all the dialogue is very adult driven. It's got lots of adult content. It's very violent. It's absolutely phenomenal. And I know you can put your PS4 disc in, get a free PS5 upgrade and all that kind of stuff, but
I'm just going to put some comments on the screen. I'm getting a bit distracted by the chat here. There's
no
lots
worries.
of talk about my wok. So it seems to be a thing now.
I think we need to somehow get a triangle face endorsed wok.
Oh, there's an idea, isn't there?
A triangle face endorsed wok.
Yeah, we've got Ryan and Ali are very interested in my wok. I keep telling them I don't have a wok, I have a skillet. So you'll never see my wok. It's actually not a wok, it's a skillet. Yeah, apparently I look like the Paul Hollywood wok.
Does Paul Hollywood have a wok?
That I am the Paul Hollywood of retro gaming. So maybe you'll get a triangle face handshake at the Knots Gaming Expo.
A triangle face handshake.
Triangle face handshake. You'll have to I don't know, beat someone at a game or something before I shake your hand.
I like Dorbs' comment here. A triangle face wok. T-wok, twok.
Twok. Okay. We've already got some buzzwords going on. I think, we could have, if we ever get some endorsements, we'll go for a triangle face wok.
Stick it in the chat there. If you would buy a triangle face endorsed wok, which we will then brand twok, let us know, and we'll see if we can get a small run of twoks made for people.
Some YouTube channels have mugs or t-shirts. we'll have a walk.
Exactly. Why not? Why
Why
not?
not? Anyway,
Excellent.
I'll ask one more question about the walk. Ryan would like to know: is it left or right-hand one? It's one with 2 handles either side. So there you go.
Exciting.
I think that's enough about my walk. Let's move on.
Okie dokie. And the last game, people have seen. I put a video up. I can't remember if it was a week ago or 2 weeks ago now, about how I go about trying to pick up games at the moment, and sort of tips and tricks that I've been using in order to get certain games which maybe have been a little bit unobtainable for me. One of those games which is I've always wanted it in the collection, but it's always been the wrong price, and I found it for the right price, thankfully, and that is Shovel Knight on the 3DS.
Oh, nice.
I'm on a huge 3DS kick at the moment still.
Has that been hard to get hold of then? Is it just that particular version of it on that console? Because I thought Shovel Knight was quite accessible.
Yeah, you can get it on PS4 and Xbox, and it's like 15, 20 quid. For some reason, the 3DS version and the Wii U version can fetch a bit of a higher price depending on the day. But yeah, so through my various lots and acquisitions and liquidations, I've managed to get Shovel Knight for, I think it was 15 quid, which I was more than happy with. And that goes nicely into the collection, and I've been playing that for a little bit as well because it's a bloody good game. And now I can play it on my 3DS, which is always great.
Nice.
So that's what I have been playing this month, or certainly this last sort of 5 weeks or so, which I admit is actually quite a lot of games.
It is.
Yeah, and it's only going to get worse because I still have the Final Fantasy Origins to play through. I still haven't touched Sonic Frontiers. That's still in the shrink wrap. But again, it was just a Black Friday deal, and I still haven't seen it cheaper than what I got it for. So it's too many games.
Lots of games. Yeah, I know what you mean. I've got loads of games I really want to delve into. And what I normally try and do is like play a long campaign game and get like just play that every time I go to game, play the same game until I finish like a long story. And then I'll break up with like lots of short games and lots of short experiences, and then pick another campaign game. So I think at the moment for me it's going to be Hogwarts for a while. I'll probably play Hogwarts quite a bit.
I'm hopefully going to be picking that up from Ryan's Mrs. Siobhan, because I know she's finished with it and she wants to get rid of it for a decent price. So I'm hopefully going to pick that up off of her soon, because it's a game I am really, really keen to play. I know my daughter Sarah will get a bit of a kick out of it as well. She's quite a big Harry Potter fan, so yeah, it could be good.
It's a good game in its own right, but it helps if you're a Harry Potter fan because you just get to enjoy exploring Hogwarts and seeing all the little references and Easter eggs and all that sort of thing, and just being able to walk around the different common rooms. I think some of that will be lost if you're not, into Harry Potter that much.
Yeah, I can see that. Devastating. Get on Sonic. I will, but there's just other games I want to play. Shame for not unwrapping it. Oh man, lots of shame. I feel like I need someone needs to ring.
Is that a thing? I didn't know not unwrapping stuff is something we shame now. I didn't know that. I've not. If it makes you feel better, I haven't unwrapped Spider-Man or Horizon Forbidden West because I've just started playing Hogwarts, so those two are still sealed.
Does make me feel better.
I'll take my own fair share of the shame that's being handed out in the chat and not unwrapping stuff.
I will take that. Thank you for burdening or taking the shame burden there, Tim. Thank you. Okay, so we've got a few topics here. One that we're just going to sort of just touch on, and then we'll skirt over because I know Blunners will want to talk about the game probably in a bit more detail, considering he's actually got it and is heavily committing to it. But the first thing we're going to talk about is Zelda Tears of the Kingdom has apparently hit 10 million sales already. That's a lot. I mean, how long has it been out? Has it been out a week yet?
Probably about that. I think just Blunder's got it like just on the day it came out or the day before.
He got it a day early.
He got a day early and he posted a few shorts on it. And that was about a week ago, I think, wasn't it? So
okay,
been about a week.
So 10 million sales in a week for Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. That is exceptionally good. Here we go.
Since Friday. So that makes sense. Yeah, I think it was Thursday. Yeah, Blunners had posted it for the first time. So yeah, that sounds about right.
That is insane. And I know that there is a lot of people that are already pirating the game, I guess. There's lots of people that are playing it on loads of there's an emulation of it already. There's loads of people playing it on Steam Decks, there's loads of people playing it on PC. So even in spite of that, there's still 10 million people that have purchased this game.
I love Zelda.
It's
I think Breath of the Wild was like super popular as well, wasn't it? So, and
Yep.
this looks like it's very similar in style and you know, art style and look. So I'd imagine it's just had quite a big interest at the start.
It is, yeah. It's been hyped to absolute maximum. It's Zelda, isn't it? It's always going to do well. But yeah, I don't know why I'm astounded by that. 10 million sales in 5 days. That just seems superb. That's what we've got here. Middle-aged gamer guy saying speedrunner completed it in 94 minutes. Wow.
In the first 40 hours release.
I know that the speedrunning community is an intense place, but 94 minutes. It only been out 2 days. I mean,
sorry, I didn't comment on this earlier, but there's another thing now. So Dorb says first he's never seen any Harry Potter films. He's got zero interest, and now he's saying he's never played any Zelda games. Zero interest. I don't know. He just. I'm not going to comment any further. There's just so many things I like that Dorbs just hates on.
But
anyway,
we've got Ali Dorbs. What's the matter?
Yeah, no Zelda, or 557 or Harry Potter. You know, I don't know.
Unbelievable.
There's no pleasing you, Dorbs. No pleasing.
You'd be pleased to know, though, Dorbs, there's actually not that many cutscenes in Zelda games. And a lot of the time,
and like Zelda's like real-time combat as well. It doesn't have turn-based combat or anything.
It has.
I'm surprised by that one, actually. I would have expected the Harry Potter thing. I didn't take Dorbs for a Harry Potter fan, but I'm a little bit surprised that he doesn't like Zelda.
Yeah, you might get a kick out of that, Dorbs. No cutscenes, real-time combat. Yeah, don't really need to know huge amounts of what's going on in the world. Most of it's just sort of a little bit of dialogue on story, and then off you go.
Maybe you could give it a try. Anyway, so I keep getting distracted by the chat. There's just lots of going on.
I know.
We're trying to stay on topic.
So what we'll do is hopefully on the next ModCons we'll get Blunders will hopefully be about, and he can talk to us about Tears of the Kingdom. I may have caved to peer pressure and picked it up by then as well. I don't know. I'm trying to not pick up Zelda yet until I've finished everything I want to do in Witcher. Then I'll pick it up, because otherwise I'm just going to do what I did with Elden Ring and Forbidden West and just flip between two massive games, and it's like trying to pick your favorite child. So I'm not up for that at the moment. So we will we'll come off of that topic now, and we'll go on to our first actual topic, which maybe some people in the chat will also have some opinions on. So next topic is UK regulators have said that the EU is wrong to approve Microsoft's Activision deal. For anyone that's sort of, I guess, been under a rock, there's definitely been Microsoft have been throwing money left, right, and center over the years. They've been buying up studios. They bought Bethesda, they've bought Ninja Theory, they've bought a whole bunch of other studios as well, and they were in a bid to try and get Microsoft to try and get Activision and Blizzard. A lot of people have said a lot of things about it. And now, the UK basically put a blocker on it, saying that they wouldn't agree to it, they wouldn't allow it for whatever reason. And now the EU have kind of gone, well, actually, no, we're going to approve this. We think that this is okay. I mean, you and I were talking sort of very briefly before we came on about this, and sort of liking it to the Disney deal as well. But it feels weird. It feels weird. I'm not sure why. Stupid. It's a stupid thing to say, but I understand why Microsoft are wanting to buy all of these studios, because then it's collateral. But I can absolutely see why certain people are maybe putting blockers in place, because
I mean, I don't really understand how these things work, from like the legal side of things, but I'm a bit confused as to why like the EU and UK regulators have a say in it and why they're involved. It's just not really a subject to know a lot about. So I was a bit surprised, like, what can't like a company buy a company and start selling stuff? Like, why the regulators get involved? So what I could see, it was all about them not having sort of exclusive access to cloud gaming and things like that. And there must be some like trade laws around it where you can't have exclusive rights to so many things. They talk about licenses as well, don't they? Microsoft have to agree to sell licenses for certain things for
Yeah.
10 years
So
and
if
things like
I
that. It's a bit over my head, to be honest. I'm like, I
yeah.
just want to make some good games.
So
Make some
if I
content.
if I jump on over to the Guardian's website, I won't show it on screen because they had some quotes in there that were quite interesting. Where's it gone here? So yeah, so Microsoft President Brad Smith has said, in quote, the European Commission has required Microsoft to license popular Activision Blizzard games automatically to competing cloud gaming services. This will apply globally and will empower millions of consumers worldwide to play these games on any device they choose. So of course he's going to say empowers millions of gamers. He's the Microsoft president. Um, I I don't see how Microsoft buying the studio and putting all these things out like that empowers them any more than if they were just left to create games and put them wherever they want anyway. So there's a lot of people in the chat there all saying that Microsoft is sort of, they don't have any great exclusives, so maybe this is what they're doing. They're buying up the studio so they can have exclusivity rights on certain things. I'd probably agree with that. Microsoft have got a handful of really good first party owned titles and the rest are sort of not, and that PlayStation do tend to have, and Nintendo of course have got excellent first party content. It's just a weird one. I do feel a bit funny about it, but like we were saying earlier, we likened it to the Disney deal and the fact that Disney now own Fox, and they own other things like Marvel Studios and this kind of thing. But I guess in terms of movies, you're only going to go to the cinema or buy the Blu-ray or rent it. You know, you don't go to a Disney cinema or you know. A Fox cinema or only buy things from Fox's website or that kind of thing. So it's a bit different in that sense that I don't know.
The thing that I think about is whenever there are these big mergers or companies buying out other companies and things like that, normally it means that we get more content and stuff comes out. So, as the consumers, we might find that there's been a lot of talk in the chat about Xbox not having as many exclusive titles, adding stuff to Game Pass. If it's just going to expand the Game Pass library, anyone that is already a user of that service is going to be quids in. So it could be a good thing. But the whole situation has confused me a bit because I don't quite understand that these things can get blocked. I'm not even going to attempt to. I'm not an expert in that sort of thing, so I just read it all thinking I don't quite know what's going on. So I will keep an eye on the situation and see how it unfolds. But it's a little bit beyond my expertise to understand.
In the back of my brain, the thing that I've had discussions with some people at work about this as well. The thing that bugs me in the back of my brain would be if now Microsoft owned Bethesda, if they were to then get Activision and Blizzard, they could effectively kind of just make all of those games exclusive for Xbox. And given that some of those games are things like Elder Scrolls, Doom,
is that good for them though? Because if you can make games exclusively for Xbox, I get that might push more units, but if they can sell their games on other consoles, won't that sell more games? So I don't know how. Do they want to limit themselves to their own console? Do they make more money if they allow them to sell on cross-platform?
I guess with their mind, are they doing it as a way to shift the initial unit and flock Game Pass? So you can have all these games day one exclusive to Xbox for £10 a month. That's a very enticing deal, I guess, to people that are maybe fence sitters on the console market.
There's a very good comment here from Middle Aged Gamer Guy. And when the COD players, I'm not a COD player. I've never been overly into COD, but I guess there's going to be a lot of people that like COD that are PlayStation owners. And if they're going to take COD away from the PlayStation and stick on the Xbox, that could upset some people. So that's a fair point.
Well, yeah, and it's people that have maybe built streaming services around, or their streaming channels around a particular game, and they game on a particular console. Is this then going to mean that they're going to have to buy a new console, or are they going to kind of just bite the bullet and go, you know what, nah, I'm gonna pick a new game to sort of run with. I get the exclusivity of certain things. People want their exclusives for the consoles because that's what makes their system stand out that little bit more, maybe. And then you keep the third party stuff because it's just third party. It can go everywhere. It can go wherever it likes, and that's worked quite well on all the previous generations. You've always had these floating companies that release on everything, but it definitely feels that this time around Microsoft are kind of just buying everything. So let's just buy it. We'll buy it, and then we can have complete control of it, and do what we want to do with it. Feels a bit strange, is all. Just something doesn't sit overly right with me.
How it unfolds, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. We'll sort of see where it goes. Now that the EU have said it's all cool and they're happy to run with it, will the UK change its mind? Don't know. Do not know. I was having a real quick look before we jump on to the next topic of, Activision and Blizzard properties, and some of the big ones are things like Overwatch, Diablo. We said Call of Duty in the chat, World of Warcraft. Those are pretty big IPs. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. See what happens. See what comes of it. Yeah, there's some good comments in the chat there on that as well. So yeah, really thanks for joining in on that. Because there's a few people in there I think that are probably a lot more clued up on it than us. Okay, so this is what we were reading earlier as well. Biggest issue is governments don't want them monopolizing the cloud gaming market. Yeah, again, I can totally see that.
I understand that. That's the bit I find is a bit weird. Like, why is the government getting involved in the cloud gaming market? I don't understand what it's got to do with them. Do you know what I mean?
I guess it's sort of like, I guess it's like politics, isn't it? You can't be seen to allow someone the opportunity to monopolize everything, because otherwise it's just an unregulated market, isn't it? People can just do what they like, or don't know. We'll watch it. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see
how it unfolds.
What's the situation unfold?
So next on the agenda for anyone in the chat, there'll be some stipulations that Tim will probably just cover with this in terms of what you will need, but we're going to give something away. Or Tim's going to give something away.
So I have got something to give away, yes. I have got a Steam VR code. So if there's anyone in the chat that has got Steam VR and will actually be able to play the game, I have a code for a game called Into the Radius, which I do not need, so I'm giving it away. So if anyone would like the code, all you need to do in the chat is say, I'd like the code, and I'll get in touch with you and send it to you. And that's it, really. You're going to keep it nice and simple. But I just want to make sure, be aware that you need to have Steam VR to use it. My setup is I've got an Oculus Quest 2, a link cable to my laptop, and my laptop can play Steam VR, so I get to play that game. So I don't want to give it away to someone who can't play it. So as long as you are happy that you can use it, you're welcome to it. Just put a note in the chat saying, give me the code, and it's all yours.
Give me the code. So literally type "give me the code" in the chat at any point this evening. First person to do so will be given the code.
So
what's happened to the coffee cup giveaway? That will happen when we have Bitmap Bureau on, which is going to be next week. So hopefully Dorbs has kept that cup. We'll get Mike to sign it, and I'm sure.
Dorbs has asked. Dorbs has asked for the code, but moles will be thrown away. Dorbs said, "Give me the code." I don't know if Dorbs has got.
People might think it's a fix. People
So,
might think it's a fix.
You don't have a VR headset, do you? So I don't know. Anyway, I missed the code there. Do you have Steam VR and a VR headset to play the game? Because you can have a code for Into the Radius if you would like it. Oh, give me a code. There we go.
Mr. Noyce, Harry Noyce.
It is all yours.
The code has been claimed.
Over to you. That is claimed.
Perfect. We'll sort that out for you, Harry, and I'll get Tim to get in touch with you and pass that all over. Excellent. We haven't given anything away for ages, so that's very, very delightful. Okay, so next topic is the new Assassin's Creed game, which is going to be called Mirage, is going to release in October. And my initial thoughts were, I cannot believe they're still making Assassin's Creed games. but that being said, Valhalla was the last one, which I haven't played because I haven't played anything since. I'm just looking at my last Assassin's Creed game. Was Black Flag before or after Unity?
Black Flag was before.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Unity was after Black Flag.
Excuse me. That's the last Assassin's Creed game I played.
Cool. And then I think I played Syndicate and Odyssey. So I think I played all of them apart from Origins and Odyssey, I think. So it's only those two. So I was a huge Assassin's Creed fan and played through all of them. But the one thing I found kind of got away from a bit was the story that exists outside of the Animus, like what's going on present day. I think I just got away from it. Because what's going? I don't have no idea what's going on now. There's the continuing story throughout all the games. I think the biggest mistake, spoilers if you haven't played up to Assassin's Creed 3, which is a very old game now. So
I think you're okay to spoil that.
I think okay. I think they should have not killed off Desmond, because I think he was the main character in the story outside of the Animus that you were following. And then after Desmond got killed off, I just lost interest in what's going on. It's like they'll have the entire game, majority of it is set inside the Animus in the past. And then the present day thing is very, very small bits now, I think. You don't spend a lot of time out of the Animus. But it's just really weird. They don't go forward chronologically. They jump around. So they keep going back. Like this one now, the setting is before the settings they've used in the other games. It's like, now what are they trying to find? And it's all just a bit confusing because it's like they're trying to get information about where certain artifacts were left so they can find out where they are present day. It was like, well, surely you go to the most recent person that's found it, not going back further to someone who found it before. It's just, it gets a bit away. But the stories inside the Animus of the actual game are normally self-contained, and you've got a nice little story, and the gameplay is all good. But I'm liking the look of the trailer, that it looks like it's going back in time further, back to more when the original Assassin's Creed was, by the looks of it.
Okay.
Altair was the main assassin, which is a really great setting. So it'd be great to revisit that sort of time period and going around, like just the look and feel of it in the marketplace. And also you've got different periods of the games will be either the assassins are all up and running, there's lots of them, and you're part of the Brotherhood, or the Assassin's Brotherhood is all but wiped out and you're the only assassin and you're trying to rebuild the Brotherhood and find new recruits and things like that. It looks like this has got the Assassin's Brotherhood at this point in history is well established, and there's a lot of them. And also one point of note I noticed on there is it's going to be set earlier because they were doing the thing where they cut off their finger. And in the ones that are set during like the Ezio trilogy, they I think it's Leonardo da Vinci invents, or somebody invents, I can't remember his name. They create a new hidden blade which doesn't require you to cut your finger off. So if they're there cutting the finger off in that ceremony thing, it must be before all that stuff happens. Be interested to look at this one. Actually, I quite like the look of it. Although I have missed a couple, it might tempt me to jump back into the franchise.
Right, Mr. Blunners has arrived. And says, send me the link. I'll jump in. So let's do that really quickly now. Where are we at? It is on its way in the chat, Blunners. Normal bit before. Chat amongst yourselves, because I can't do more than one thing
while you're doing that.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, and what was it there? I think Andy, they're not got any love for any of the Animus stuff. I mean, I liked it up until they killed off Desmond, and it's like I don't really care now because you kind of ended that story and not replaced it with anything decent. Like I just didn't really follow what was going on. And also, to this day, I think Black Flag really stands out of all the Assassin's Creed games.
It really does. It's so good.
Very, very good. And I played, I almost didn't get Black Flag. I was playing on 3, which is the one where you play Connor. And there's a boat thing in there where you have these sections you get on the ships. And I really did enjoy it. I was like, these boat bits terrible. And I heard, Black Flag, loads of boat stuff, loads of pirate stuff. You're on the boats all the time. It's like, that sounds dreadful to me because I really didn't like the boat mechanics in the last game. And one of my friends who played it said, no, the boat mechanics are different. They're way better. You will really enjoy this one. So, okay, fair enough. I'll give it a try. And it was brilliant. Really, really good game. So.
It's so good. Like Black Flag, I think is the peak, the pinnacle of Assassin's Creed for me. Admittedly, there's a whole bunch I haven't played because I got to that point very much like you did, Tim, when they killed Desmond. It kind of ruined it for me. Actually, I thought it was this really cool idea of this, what was happening and how things were going to run, and how, it was it reminded me a lot of the Matrix, this whole idea of, resetting and, having to pick people to go and survive with. And I just thought, this is so cool. And then it just, it ended. And I thought, oh,
Wasn't
wow,
there
is
the
that?
character that was with him that like ends up betraying them and then he kills her and then that was it? They just dropped that. It's like, well, she was a main character for like 3 or 4 games, and then by the way, she was a Templar the whole time and she tried to kill him.
Yeah,
but didn't succeed, and that was it. It's like they ended that really abruptly, which I thought was odd.
I didn't like the format that Assassin's Creed started following, where it was releasing a game a year.
It's a bit much, wasn't it?
It was so much, and it was so difficult to keep up. It was sort of kind of like what Marvel are doing now. It's just overkill. There's so many movies, there's so many TV shows. They all tie into each other. And you just got to keep up with it. And I felt that way about Assassin's Creed. It was like, right, there's a new Assassin's Creed game coming out. Christ, okay, fine. Well, I'll play the next one because I'm interested to see what happens now that Desmond's no longer around. And I didn't really like it. But then Black Flag, I really liked. I thought this was great. You've managed to pique my interest. And maybe is every Assassin's Creed game a different person now when you go into the Animus?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I think the rules of the Animus are that you have to be like a blood relative of them, so you can only go to your ancestors. It's like Syndicate was quite good, but I cannot tell you anything about the story outside of the Animus because I honestly don't remember. I think it's like, I think it's meant to self-project. So you're playing a game, but like the hackers or the people that the current day assassins are talking to you, saying, "Oh, we need you to gather intel from within this game by doing these missions and stuff," and you're like feeding information to the assassins. But there's not like a lot of cutscenes where there's a character. It's almost like they're breaking the fourth wall and they're talking to you directly. Because I think in the Black Flag game, they're like making a game out of it. And then it all becomes like this, meta thing where you're playing the games that are actually the Templars trying to find artifact. Bit of a weird way to go. I always kind of felt what they should have done was have a thing where, like, I don't know, Desmond gets hold of the Apple of Eden or something and then puts it somewhere, and then it cuts, and there's someone in the future getting out of an Animus and going, I know where Desmond hid the apple, and then it just cuts off, and then the next game is you're playing in the future and going back, and then you're playing as Desmond, but you're somebody in an Animus playing as Desmond. But instead, they killed him off. So there you go.
That's a really cool idea. That is a genuinely cool idea. Wow. See,
but again, it would have been present day, and I guess they want to go back in history, don't they, and do all the.
But that could have been a really cool way to end the franchise. End it in present day.
At the end of the day, Black Flag, brilliant game. Does it have to be Assassin's Creed? Could they have just done a pirate game and not have it anything to do with the Assassins? The game mechanics and the gameplay were really solid. But, hey.
Yep. The thing that starts to confuse me the most is the thing that I loved about Assassin's Creed in that original sort of trilogy with the extra Brotherhood and the other ones that sort of completed Ezio's sort of story. I liked the fact that you were in settings whereby there were things to run on the top of, big tall buildings. But then as soon as you enter, I mean, Assassin's Creed 3 didn't have it quite so much, and that really bothered me. But as soon as you start having places like Egypt, like what do you run along the top of? I haven't played Odyssey, but what do you run across the top of? Like, you can't just run across the top of pyramids.
Odyssey is all right because you can run across the top of buildings and stuff. So, but I know what you mean with 3. There's sections in the woods where you're running across branches and in trees. But then when you get to like the settlements, the buildings are really low, and you're not running across the rooftops anymore. So yeah, definitely get what you mean with that.
But I felt that way about Syndicate as well. I've watched people play Syndicate, and some of Syndicate, and again, I know it's a video game, and I've got to disband a bit of belief and whatnot. But some of the areas of London at that time, it just looked like they'd deliberately done that purely so that you could run along the rooftops.
He's in.
Hey, look at that! Live from the skate park.
He's live from the skate park. He's on location.
Behind me.
How are we doing, bud? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. You? Can you hear me all right? Does it sound right?
We can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you absolutely fine, my friend.
Oh, that's good then.
So you're excited for the new Assassin's Creed, aren't you?
Yes, I have every single one. I've played every single one. I've completed every single one, even the ones in the Vita and everything like that.
So you're still
yeah,
in the
very
franchise.
excited. Yeah, that is. Hang on, I'll just turn you off a bit. Yeah, it's. I didn't like the new engine at first, and I didn't like the fact that is it on Origins when you're getting chased and you're like that was annoying. That would annoy me because I like to go straight in, go and unlock as much as I can, go and find the towers first before I do anything, and then basically make myself OP and then go around just destroy everyone. I quite like doing that.
Yeah.
So yeah, very excited for this new one that's coming up.
Yeah. Okay. It's we've done a lot of or I've certainly done a lot of chat where I've kind of said I haven't played Assassin's Creed for years now. I don't know, like Valhalla was maybe the one that made me think I would possibly jump back in again.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll have to have a bit of a catch up on the story from you, and then I can maybe jump into Mirage.
Yeah, you might need to fill some gaps in for us because I don't know what's going on present day at this point.
To be honest, so the animus and all that is pretty much gone. They don't bother with any of that anymore. Pretty much just hit the ground running and you're just like running around. Pretty much. It's not really.
They kind of just abandon the overarching story. It's just the standalone story.
Yeah, so there's no like big story like you'd think like they did do in the first couple. But yeah, it's the same really. It's sorry, my boy's just fallen over, so I'm laughing at him. So yeah, so no, it's that's how the game starts really. Well, I had a bit of a glitch actually in Valhalla in mine, and that's why I couldn't carry on what I was doing. I had to wait for it to be patched before I could carry on, and then once it was patched, I was alright. But yeah, it is. I like the thing was they were churning out too many. They kept the same for ages. They kept the same engine, didn't they? And they were just like plucking them out every year. So I'm quite glad they changed
the game every year was a bit much. I think like, you finish an Assassin's Creed game and then like another one's just been announced to be released. So I do like other games franchises as well.
Yeah.
Don't just be playing Assassin's Creed all the time.
Yes, but it is one I can't wait for. I think it's going to be like you were saying earlier about the Hidden Blade. I do like you just like sneaking up and assassinating people basically.
Excellent. What is your favorite Assassin's Creed game then? What is the one that you would say is your highlight?
So obviously one was okay, but 2 was the better one that got me into it. But like you said, Black Flag, mate, it's unbelievable. Yeah. Especially when I got my PS4 day one with Black Flag.
Yeah,
and that was the only game I needed because it was like you said, it was all done up, it was all looking all HD. It was very good at what it was at the time.
Yeah.
And the fact that they still haven't released this Skull and Bones game, which is basically like Assassin's Creed, just going around on your ship. So the fact they still haven't released
a really good like companion game you could get for Black Flag, where like when you captured a boat, you could either like take resources, keep the boat, and like get the crew. You had a few options, didn't you? And then you ended up with your own fleets. And there's an app you could get where you could use the
I'd done fleets. That. I had the app as well.
I can remember we used to like play it on my phone on the way to work and play it on my lunch break and stuff. And then I go home and then play Assassin's Creed. And we would have earned loads of money and got loads of resources because we've been playing like the app game with all the ships. Yeah, I haven't seen something like that in the game for ages. That was really good.
It's just a shame. I just want them to hurry up and, like you say, bring that kind of stuff back. But
yeah. Hopefully this will do that. I mean, Valhalla seemed to get fairly good reviews, so maybe they're back to sort of not doing one a year again, and it's sort of quantity or quality over quantity again.
Yeah, it is.
It is. Just let you know we're closing now.
Okay. I've got to go and move my car. Okay.
All right. Good to see you, Blanche.
All
right, buddy. No worries, man. Yeah. Okie dokie.
No, I wanted to talk about Zelda though while we're on.
I know we started off a bit. We deliberately skimmed over a little bit to give you the floor on Zelda.
So yeah, we'll save Zelda for the next one, mate. We'll keep hold of it for the next one, and we'll let you run with it because I know you've done a lot of it. People that are sort of in the chat, they do head on over and see all the shorts that Blunners has been putting up about it, and yeah, Blunners is the Zelda man.
Oh, I can't wait. It's well, I still can't stop playing it. It's one of them games that like you're thinking about playing it all the time. It's that good.
Yeah, it looks good. I think I'm probably going to end up caving, but I'm really trying to stand firm, and just keep with Witcher 3 for the moment, and then I'll convert to Zelda as soon as I'm done with that. That we're getting a bit of background music there as well.
Oh no, that's just logging into the car.
Look at that! I'm getting flashbacks for when we interviewed Gemma there, and this is Blunner's in the car this time. This will be known as your dogging hoodie.
Yeah.
I'm going to tap my light on. I feel like I'm getting really dark in here now. Scooch out.
Okie dokie. When Tim comes back, we will jump onto our last couple of topics.
That's a bit better. I look too bright now. Okay, too bright.
So we will jump onto our last couple of topics now. So the first one is PlayStation Plus for May, and for people that are either unaware or unsure or just whatever it is, PlayStation Plus is a monthly subscription service whereby you can play online games, but you then also get access to a bunch of free games that you can download and keep on your PlayStation for free as long as you have PlayStation Plus going. And for May, I believe the lineup is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which is phenomenal for a free game.
That's a big title.
It's a huge title, absolutely huge. A game called Humanity, and also Watch Dogs Legions, which is
Really? Nice.
another really big game. So you got Ratchet and Clank and Watch Dogs Legions as your free games for PlayStation Plus. If you play online games, you get these games free anyway. You don't have to download them to your hard drive immediately. You can just simply add to library, not download them, and then you can download them at any other time. So yeah, some absolutely killer titles in there. So yeah, if you don't own any of those games, I highly recommend you stick those on the library so that you can you can play them as soon as you can. They're fantastic. And games with gold.
Here we go.
Switch the mate, you wait for this. Switch the ticker to games with gold.
I think they just need to knock it on the head because every cons what's on PlayStation and you look great games, really solid games. It's like, oh, and on games with gold is it's like they just need to not bother. I think like just have games sack off games with gold. I reckon.
So games with gold is Star Wars Racer, which I'm presuming is
that's a bit better than normal. The last few months have been a bit naff, haven't they?
So yeah, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, and a game called Hoa. It doesn't really quite sort of swing it when you then suddenly say Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Watch Dogs Legions as like your other two.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Tim. I think Microsoft just need to knock it on the head and just concentrate purely on trying to sell Game Pass.
They're not bothering to give any good games to Game Pass on Games to Gold rather. Like years ago, it was actually pretty decent. I'd always be like, oh, I get really good games on this, and now, but again, I've got Game Pass, so I don't really care, But I don't remember the last time I saw games with gold that I actually decided to play. Like I download them so I don't miss out with them, but I don't think I played a game with a gold game in ages.
Me neither.
Whereas like PlayStation Plus, I might download it and give it a go. So like at the moment, I'm playing Abe's Odyssey, the Abe's Soulstorm game, and Crash 4. They were PlayStation Plus games.
Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah, I'm actually playing them.
I mean, I know Rob said there he's only got PlayStation Essential. You still get free games with PlayStation Essential, Rob. You don't get access to all the games like you do with the premium and the extra, but the essential line is all I've got. The $6.99 a month or £40 a year or whatever it is. You still get exactly. You still get 3 free games with that, Rob. So you should still have access to some free stuff. Okie dokie. So I will jump now to our starred comments. as we're now sort of edging towards the end of where we're at. So Harry has chucked in there one for later. What do we reckon the recently announced PlayStation Showcase is going to announce? I know there's been a lot of stuff in the chat for people answering that question of what they think is going to be there. But does anybody have any games that they think are going to be the standouts for the showcase?
I'm not sure. What are you thinking, Tim?
Oh, Tim, you've gone mute, buddy.
Yeah.
There you go. Don't know what happened there.
There you
I'm hoping for something Spider-Man related.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we had Spider-Man. The first one, obviously, there's the Miles Morales one. That was kind of more of an expansion on that. And there's a lot teased in the last Spider-Man game.
Yeah,
I'm hoping we're going to see some Green Goblin. I'm hoping we're going to see.
Also, there's a new film coming, isn't there? So could tie in with that.
It almost felt like they're trying to build like a Marvel gaming universe, like they've got the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I was really excited for the Avengers game. And there's a lot of naysayers saying, "Oh, it doesn't look great." People are worried about it. It's like, no, I bet it's going to be brilliant. And I played it, and I was so disappointed. Really did not enjoy the Avengers game at all. And I really wanted to. I was playing, going, "This is good. This is good." I was trying to convince myself it was good, and it wasn't. But yeah, I'm hoping they'll carry on that story from the last Spider-Man game because it was wicked. I thought that was a really good game.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think there will be definitely a Spider-Man announcement. I think Spider-Man might be the peak of the presentation because it's Spider-Man. Hopefully, we'll see a bit of Venom in there as well. That'll make me very, very happy.
Yeah, definitely. That needs to be a big part of the story. Definitely. What I'm hoping for, because obviously in the previous Spider-Man game, there's lots of skill trees to leveling up your suit, wasn't there? So you had to like upgrade your suit, get different types of webbing, get different types of this, different types of that. And they had like the different villains in the different storylines. If they introduce Green Goblin, I think they need to make Green Goblin the main villain. And then I reckon you get the Venom symbiote at the start, and then that's one of your skill trees, and you can level up all your different symbiote abilities and level up the character. At some point in the game, it gets stripped off you, and then you have to fight the Venom.
That'd be kind of cool.
So Venom comes in the third act. I think they need to build up to it. But if it's done well, like one thing I really liked about the last Spider-Man game, it didn't feel like a game where you're playing through a movie. It felt like a game where you're playing through a series. The way it was structured and the pacing of the levels and stuff was very episodic, and it felt like you're going through a storyline from a series rather than a film. And yeah, I hope they just continue that because I think it's a really good format.
Also, I think there might be some DLC for God of War Ragnarok.
Yep.
I reckon we might get some sort of announcement on that.
Another
one I'm still playing through, but
Zelda's taken over your life. I'm the one that I'm killer for, and I know Ali, if he's still in the chat, will also be gunning for is I want some Silent Hill. Give me some Silent Hill, please. Yes, there we are. So he's put it in there, Silent Hill, and Aliens as well. Yes, that would be cool. I would love just there to be a curveball. I would love for them to announce a sequel to Alien Isolation. Someone do it. Someone somewhere just throw a curveball in this year and show that they're working on a sequel to Alien Isolation. That would make me beyond happy. But yeah, Silent Hill. As long as we get some Silent Hill, that's where my head's at. I need some of that in my life. Okie dokie. On from Andy Davison said, Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal going ahead now. Will this boost Microsoft in Game Pass, some games? Yeah, I think we covered that earlier. I think if that is what happens, then yes, I think Game Pass is going to be getting some very big games day one. Everybody else will get them as and when. We'll just have to watch this space with that one. Sarah in the chat, are you going to make merch? I don't know. People would need to buy it to start with. So maybe I'll make you an RGR shirt, and when people ask you where they got it from, then we can start making merch. So I would love to start making merch. That would make me well happy.
I think the thing is like you want to have the merch to be affordable, so people actually want to buy it. But then it's that making it good enough quality then ups the price a lot, and then don't really expect people to spend a lot of money on us and buy a really
Exactly.
expensive T-shirt. We want to, we want to have cheaper chip T-shirts, but then they'll be bad quality. So it's
Yeah.
going to find that balance, haven't you? Like, print on demand for
Yeah.
T-shirts. Maybe one day. I'm sure we could sort something out.
We'll see how it goes.
Or not.
And then the last question there from Harry. Yes, what game everyone looking forward to this year? So what games are you guys? What's on your hit lists for this year?
Well, mine's just come out, so I've been counting down the days.
First, but he's dropped. There you go. I'll go first. Things he seems to be cutting out. I don't really know because I've been kind of focusing on the games I've recently picked up. So I haven't really been looking ahead to what's coming out. But since we've covered it, I do think Assassin's Creed. What have they called it? Mirage. Yeah, I think Assassin's Creed Mirage actually looks pretty good. I've not played the last few, and it might tempt me back into the franchise just because the style of it and the setting and everything looked really reminded me of that original Assassin's Creed. But yeah, maybe it's time to jump back into the franchise and give that a shot. Okay.
And Mr. Blunders, I think you said yours has just come out.
Yeah, mine's just come out. I was saying I was counting down the days for Zelda. It has lived up, and I think it's going to take me absolutely ages to get through. Because like the last one, I completed it, I stopped, played someone else, and I was watching my son play it, and then there was loads of stuff I'd missed. So I ended up going back and then basically playing another like 50, 60 hours on it. So,
yeah. Okay. For me, it's got to be Silent Hill. That's coming this year. It's got to be all about Silent Hill for me. There's some great games out already at the moment. I'm just waiting patiently. I've waited patiently since I know there's been some Silent Hill games like Downpour and Homecoming and stuff, but I think I've been waiting very, very patiently probably since Silent Hill 4 for a genuinely true return to proper Silent Hill. So if that return is Silent Hill 2 remake, I'm more than happy with that for the moment, and then we'll see what happens when F and all the other ones that were announced start getting some additional little bits. But we shall see. Sarah in the chat there, yeah, Alien Dark Descent coming out looks really cool. It does. It looks interesting. I'm not normally one for the sort of top down. What's the word for it? Like XCOM and that kind of thing. Those types of games. Mario and Rabbids, that kind of thing. To see where that kind of runs. But yeah, that could be interesting. Rob there looking forward to Operation Wolf. There's an Operation Wolf game coming. Another one. Hot dang. Yeah, everybody there mentioning Zelda as well. So yeah, this year's there's a lot of good games that have come out already, and there's some really good games still to come. So yeah, excellent stuff. Chaps, we have hit the hour mark. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I know it was a little bit last minute. We had to postpone the Bitmap interview, which is now going to be happening this time next week. So we will have Bitmap Bureau on to talk about game development and all the incredible games that they have made. That will take place next week. We may have another cheeky giveaway to announce at that point. So, do tune in for that. Harry, we will get that code over to you ASAP. So welcome to that, and for being the winner of our first giveaway for a little while. So thank you everyone in the chat. The chat's been really busy again, as always. It's lovely to see everybody chatting away in there and picking out on things. We will be live again on Monday. I think we've got the Total Evercade podcast on Monday, so please do join into that. There's a few little bits that we'll probably be wanting to talk about on there. And then, like I said, on the Wednesday, we'll be interviewing Bitmap Bureau, which I genuinely can't wait for. It's going to be, it's going to be absolutely killer. We've really enjoyed chatting to Mike at OLL. So yeah, to get a bit more of an insight into the studio is it's going to be one you definitely do not want to miss. So thank you, Tim, and thank you, Blunders, for joining us this evening for episode 6 of ModCons. Episode 6, can't believe it. On the road to 10.
Wow.
There we go. Right, we shall leave it there. Get home safe, Mr. Blunners, and we will see you all on Monday. So good evening and take
Yeah.
care.
Thanks for watching,
See ya.
everyone.